Well, welcome to CS 450 and 550. Normally, if this was a classroom, I would say, well, if you're in the wrong classroom, you might as well stay because this is going to be better than the class you thought you were taking. And, well, okay, chances are pretty good you're not watching this video by mistake. But if you are, stay here. This is going to be better. Okay, so what is CS 450, 550 all about? Well, first, let me introduce myself. I'm Professor Mike Bailey. I've been in computer graphics, well, let's just say for a long time. I've had over 9,000 students in my classes. And so I am very pleased that you are here to add to that total. Here is my email address. This is by far the best way to reach me. Yeah, I have a telephone, but I generally don't answer it. Um, I'll listen to messages. Anyway, I am really glad you are here. Okay, I'm going to apologize in advance for noise. I'm going to record most of these videos at home, and there just happen to be some very energetic dogs around who like to bark at the Amazon delivery people or bark at nothing. And so there's not a whole lot I can do about it. So you will hear them ahead of time. And yeah, it is what it is. All right. In the middle of the summer, I sent out a Qualtrics survey and asked for what people's concerns were. And I got back some really good answers. So I wanted to kind of address this now in case you are nervous. First of all, many people said they're concerned with the workload. And yes, there is a certain amount of workload because, after all, if there wasn't, why would you be doing this? Um, Over the course of several years, I asked students in the ESETs what amount of time they put into the class every week, and this is kind of the cumulative result. Um, It is what it is. Uh, if that seems too much, then yeah, okay, but it's probably not. As you and this included going to class. So, the bulk of people said 10 to 20 hours a week, and for a 4 credit class, that's really about right. Um, One person mentioned they don't like having to commute 2 hours a day to get to class. If you're coming just for this one, this class is also offered on eCampus. And so that might help. That might save you some of the commute. Some people were concerned about having to do group projects. They don't like them. I don't like them either. So no, there's no group projects in this class. You're concerned because you're not a CS major. This class has been deliberately tailored for people that are not in CS. I really truly believe that computer graphics is for everyone. I can't really think of any profession that doesn't have a good use to visualize something that doesn't exist or that could exist or some fantasy. Yeah, stick it out. I think you'll be okay. And it really is for everyone. And that's how we've made this course. All right, you're concerned you have no prior background in computer graphics. Well, thank goodness for that. I'm assuming that. I know some people have. You've experimented on your own, you've done internships, but this class is really starting from zero. So you aren't behind. You're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm behind already. No, you're not. All right, no background in linear algebra. There was a time when you really had to know linear algebra to do computer graphics. Well, over time, people have built libraries. And so that's really what we're going to use. Linear algebra is used to handle transformations. Now there's functions. You want to rotate, you call the rotate function. How it does it underneath, it's linear algebra. We don't really care. So no, don't worry about that. You're concerned that this class will be math heavy. It has some math, but I wouldn't call it math heavy. Not in the super duper calculus differential equation sense. Right. You're concerned you don't know C++. Well, as long as you have programmed in something, Java, Python, whatever, you'll be okay. Um, I would describe what we do as C++ light. Now, we're not going to get deep into templates and other stuff. We're going to use it very lightly. So There's lots of example code in the class. You'll get help from me. You'll get help from the TAs. If this is what you're concerned about, don't be. No, you'll be fine. You're concerned that OpenGL is complicated to understand quickly. And there's really two parts of OpenGL. There's the efficient part of OpenGL, which is really how they want you to use it. We're not going to start with that. We're going to start with the inefficient part of OpenGL. We're doing that on purpose because that's the part of OpenGL that is really super easy to learn. Now, if you get a job doing this, they're going to want you to program in the efficient way of doing OpenGL. And so as time goes on in the quarter, we're going to take some of the not efficient but easy to learn stuff and we're going to replace it. We're going to replace stuff with shaders. We're going to replace begin end with vertex buffer objects. So you will see, you will learn, you will understand the way you're really supposed to use OpenGL, but we're not going to start that way. We're going to start with the easy stuff so that you can get pixels on the screen before the end of week 0. All right, so I hope that allays people's fears. There's a resources page, and class materials will be linked into various Canvas pages, but you can find everything here. And I always create a resources page for every class that I teach. Everything is there. Everything. You know, the schedule, the notes, the projects, various information, announcements, extra stuff. It's there. And Canvas is really good. You can go to week 2 and see exactly what we're going to do in week 2. But sometimes you're looking for some information. Was that in week 1 or week 2 or 3 or maybe it was in 4? Go to the resources page. Everything is there in a logical order. And I'm going to go over that with you when we're done with this part of the note set. All right, course topics. Yep, here's what we'll be doing. Grading. I grade on, well, I call it a fill up the bucket approach. But basically, you get points for everything and you add them up. So it's basically they've already been weighted. So quizzes are worth 10 points because, well, that's about what a quiz would be weighted. Tests are worth 100 points each. Projects are worth a different amount of points depending on how hard they are. So total points is 1050. And here are the grade cutoffs. And I promise they will be no higher than this. So if you get 1025, you've got an A. There's going to be no curving like that. Yeah, the grade cutoffs could go lower than that. I make no promises either way. Notice this is not 90, 80, 70. Okay, I do a soft grade on the projects. I don't look at your code style, how fast it ran, whether you put in enough comments. Did it work? Did it do what it was supposed to do? Yes, no. And that's how they're graded. So anyway, this is the grading. So don't get into week 9 and then be shocked that your 80% is not a B. If you have 80%, well, you're kind of down here. So, yep, look at it now, understand it. If you have any questions about this, ask me. Ask me now. Don't ask me in week 9. All right, quizzes. There is a quiz every week. They go live Friday at 2 p.m. They are due 1 minute till midnight on Sunday evening. The quizzes are open notes. The quizzes are basically a thinly disguised excuse to get you to review the material. There is a quiz 0. It's due Friday of week 1. And then, of course, there's a quiz 1 that's due Sunday of week 1. Okay, there's no quiz on Thanksgiving week. You're going to be busy stuffing yourself anyway. Now, part of what's being quizzed is the time management skills necessary to remember to take the quiz. Okay, so if you forget to take a quiz, don't email me Monday and say, how do I make this up? You don't. Okay, you missed the time management part of the quiz. Okay, and for that reason, I really recommend you take the quiz before the end of Friday. Look at this. You got 10 hours on Friday to take the quiz before the weekend really, really kicks in. Once the weekend kicks in, maybe you'll remember, maybe you won't. Take it before the end of Friday. Don't risk losing the points. That's just dumb. All right, more information, and this is on the resources pages as well. This is the link to the Code of Student Conduct. I encourage you to read it. It is rather long, but I encourage you to read it anyway. And if you have any questions on it, ask me. If you are a DAS student, make sure I know that. If you aren't sure if you are or if you would like to be, if you think you should be, contact DAS, the Disability Access Services Group. They are here at this phone number, or you can get to their web page right here. They are wonderful people. I love working with them. So yes, by all means, if you think that this is you, contact them and make sure they contact me. Religious holidays, I think we have most of the major ones kind of under control, but we always will miss them. So if we've missed, or if I've missed a religious holiday that you celebrate and it falls during a test or some other major class thing, let me know. We're very accommodating on people's religious practices, as we should be. Life events. Life is stressful. Life is stressful when things are going great. Like somebody gets married or somebody has a baby. Those are joyous occasions, but they are stressful as hell. Okay. And so when things don't go well, it's even worse. I care about you all as people. Okay. When things happen to you that are stressful, let me know. Maybe I can help, maybe I can't. I will surely listen. I will help you through the class, but don't sit there and stew on your own. Okay, you're not alone. You are not alone. Just remember that. Reach out for success. Yes, every year some people get in real crisis. One, let me know. I would like to talk to you about it and to help you, but there are resources. Okay, this website is really good. If things get even worse, you've got phone numbers you can call. Okay, again, don't stew. You are not alone. And basic needs. OSU's Human Services Resource Center is great. They have a food bank, a textbook, lending program, and other resources. Okay, again, you are not alone. There are resources here that can help you and take advantage of them. And if you let me know and talk to me, I can help get you to these resources, even if it takes walking you over. Again, we care about you. Just remember that. Okay, so that's the end of this, but I wanted to go over here to the resources page. And so this is the resources page. Yep, there's the link. Doesn't matter if you're in 450 or 550. I just had to pick one. Um, it's the same resources page for both. I'm still working on it. This is August. I'm still working on it, so that's why this is here. By the time the quarter starts, this message will be gone. But there's all kinds of information. Here's all the latest OSU COVID information, which is pretty fluid these days. Here's what I was mentioning about we're going to learn the easy to learn parts of OpenGL first. I would really like you to develop graphical thinking. That is, in your mind, how do you get to do a strategy of here's what I'm trying to see on the screen, and here's how I'm going to go about writing the program to do that. Okay, that's our main goal right from the start. As time goes on, we will get to the more efficient ways of using OpenGL, but graphics thinking comes first. All right, stuff you might be interested in. Yeah, here's interesting graphics things. I collect job seeking resources as well. Yeah, here's a great book. The networking night will be coming up. Notice Registration opens for that on September 23rd, and we'll talk about that as part of class. But it is coming up, and it is really, really, really worth taking advantage of. All right, there's other stuff here. You can get Microsoft software for free as a student. Go to Azure for Education. The one that everybody, at least in this class, wants if you've got Windows is Visual Studio. All right, here are the class notes. So week 0, here are our notes. In fact, here's the one we just looked through. Oh, brief history of graphics. And don't worry, it's brief. I'm not the kind of person who likes to talk about how things were back in the good old days. I hate that too. But it's brief. And it kind of talks a little bit. You kind of see the sort of vector of how things have headed and where they're headed now. Project notes are here to help you get a better grade in your projects. Gosh, that sounds like a good thing. So anyway, here are notes. They're in one page or one slide per page, two per page, four per page, or six. Now, some of them are better if you're trying to look at a bunch at once. Some are better if you're trying to see the detail. You get to pick. All right, class schedule. Here's what we're going to do in week 0. Here's what we're going to do in week 1. So this sort of lets you plan out what's expected, what note sets you ought to be looking at, when projects are going to be explained. This is all here for your benefit. So definitely take advantage of it. Now, I do want to say this is only approximate, okay? We may get a little ahead, we may get a little behind. If there's a bunch of people interested in some other topic, we may dive off into the weeds and talk about that. No, so this is approximate. You'll notice there's some guest speakers here. This is going to be cool. So Rob Russ, a guy I know from Pixar, is going to be speaking. I don't know when. When it says not confirmed, that means it's not been confirmed yet. By the time classes start, these guest speaker names and topics will be in the proper week. But for right now, I don't know. Test 1, it will be in week 5. It will be on Canvas. It is open notes. You have an hour to get it done. It's probably going to be about 40 multiple choice questions. And you've got a whole bunch of days to do it in. So if you want to do it during the week, you can. If you want to do it on Saturday, you can. Yeah, try to give you some flexibility. Yep, more possible guest speakers. And actually, there's some more in addition to that I'm still working on, but those two have agreed. Okay, yep, there I am. There's my office phone number. I will be spending more time in my office as the quarter gets closer. And there's my email. Yes, I'm a compulsive email checker. Demonstration videos. Yeah, some things are just easier to show on video than live. Zoom videos do tend to slow down some. Here are the projects. These are not exact yet. Again, I'm making this video in August. They will be exact by the time the quarter starts. But you can look at them anytime. Downloadable files. If you want to draw a sphere, well, here's some code to do that. Or a code, or a torus. This is for shaders. This is for OBJ files. All of these things will make more sense when we get to them. Here's the grading information. It's the same grading information we saw before. For the projects, you have all been given a gift of 5 bonus days. Okay, what's a bonus day? Bonus day is a no questions asked, 1 day, 24-hour project extension. So you're not quite done, or you have a conflict with an assignment in another class, or you're not feeling well. Okay, give yourself a bonus day. There are some limits. You can only use up to 2 bonus days, two, remember, on any one project. Okay, so don't try and blow 5 bonus days on project 1. 1, I won't let you. 2, don't use any bonus days on project 1. It's too easy. As you imagine, the bonus days are worth a lot more. They have a lot more value when you get to the end of the quarter. No, you can't use bonus days on tests. No, you can't extend a project past the start of test two, and I think the due date even says that. People always ask, can I sell my bonus days to other people? No. Do I get any extra points in the class for having bonus days left over? No. Okay. But to use them, you don't need to let me know ahead of time. You're going to turn in your assignment into Teach, and I have a script that looks at the date it got turned in. No, I don't care about the time. I just care about the date. If it's the date it's due or less, it's on time. If it's one day beyond that, you're going to use up a bonus day. I have a script that does all that too. If it's 2 days beyond that, you use up 2 bonus days. If it's 3 or more days past the due date, you get a 0 on the project. So don't do that. All right. Yeah, interesting stuff. Here's the extra information. Again, you are not alone. This information is here for a very good reason. I want you to use it if you need it. And then there's just extra web stuff back here and other notes that you might find useful. Anyway, welcome to CS450/CS550. This is going to be a great quarter. Don't be nervous about anything. You are going to have a great time. You are going to do things that will amaze your friends and be really useful to you. So welcome, and I'm really glad you're here.